Okay, this is my 5th time trying to make this video because I keep pressing the button on the keyboard and it stops the video and starts playing it. Anyway, Siren James here. I'm doing a comparison video for you guys. First of all, the Glock here is a Glock Gen 519. Holds 15 rounds in the magazine. Ambidextrous slide release here. The finger grooves here are gone. A flared magwell here, and the cutout in case your magazine gets done. There's also some internals that have changed on the Glock Gen 5, and I'm not going to take a Glock apart. 15 round magazine. And I want to talk to you. I brought out this today to show you. This is my regular carry VP9 with the Stealth Gear awesome freaking holster for it. Also, 15 round magazine. Uh, both have night sights. This is $50 extra for night sights. And the VP9 was $70 extra for night sights. Now we're going to do a little comparison on the length of each. The VP9 is a little bit longer than the Gen 5. The VP9 is actually pretty good. It's very slightly taller than the Glock Gen 5. The Glock Gen 5 is a little bit fatter in the grip than the VP9. It's actually a little bit fatter. Both striker fired. They both have the little thing for the stuff. Now I've checked these. There's nothing in the chamber. Actually, the Glock can't even pull the trigger. VP9 doesn't do that, but there's nothing in the trigger because I emptied this earlier today and checked it 3 times before I started the video. And this is my 3rd time doing the video anyway, so it's 6 times total. Finish is a lot better on the Glock Gen 5, and it is a really cool, this is a step up from what they did before with all the cool stuff that they've done. The finish is much better. I would put this on par with a VP9. The only difference is that me and my father are surprised. Thank you for donating this for the video. Dad, is that the front serrations are not on the Gen 5. I thought that was kind of odd that it is here. Only other thing I don't like about Glocks, other than that, is there's a rail here, but the Picatinny rail does not look as cool as this one. I do hope that eventually Glock does put the Picatinny rail on the bottom of their firearms. It's not going to cost you really much any difference, but anyway, no issues. Glock 19 Gen 5 is comparable to the VP9. This is just a regular VP9, one of the first ones that came out. So yeah, I think they're comparable weapons. But I still do prefer the VP9 because the handle just feels a little bit thinner than the Glock Gen 5. Maybe it's just because the way maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the way I feel, but it just feels a lot. It feels a lot better in the hand than this. But this is 600. This is now comparable in price, but again, you do have some things to look out for when it comes to the HnKs. My problem. There's a reason why this is now my wife's. There's a reason why, and I'll show you in a minute. So that's the VP9. Finish real quick. This is the Glock 43. There you go. Come on. Yeah. Well, you can tell it says 43 there. 6 round in the magazine. And here's the comparison. You can tell it just looks like a Glock, but comparing, you can easily see the difference in color and such when it comes to the new Gen 5 Glock. If they were going to make the Gen 5 this color, this came out just a little while before it. I think they should have made this the same. But I'm going to have this, and now this is the extender for your pinky, but does not give you an extra round in it. But it's, I mean, it is right on the line, but I get a full grip on the thing. I don't know how people can hold it like that. I don't get it or like that. It's kind of odd. But good backup weapon. Some people want to know how I carry this. Carry it in my pocket. There's nothing else in the pocket. It is in a DeSantis pocket tuck, I think it's called. Just goes right in. The trigger is fully covered, and I do not have a round in the chamber when it's in my pocket. But there's nothing else in my pocket, but still. The only issue with Glocks I have is they're not easy to take down as this, and this is freaking easy as hell. So, pull the slide back, lock it in place, pull this down, lower it, and it's off. Done. Inside of this is pretty clean, almost. I do need to go through, oil this up, get it clean. There's the striker fire situation. And now some Glock guys also say, well, the Glocks are easy. They're not that easy to get. They're not as easy as this. Okay, they are easy, but they're not as easy to get undone as the VP9 at least. So, in my opinion, if it all comes down to if they're the same, almost the same height, the same length, the same weapon capacity, something has to way better than the other. And when it comes to the VP9, when comparing, looks aside, this could look just like a Glock, and I'd still get this because these are not as easy to take down as these. They're not. Neither one of them are 1911 takedown, but this is still, generally speaking, a little bit harder to do than this. But hey, so that's the only reason. If Glocks ever come out with this little thingamabob, this little takedown lever, then Glocks will be on par with these. They just will. And so you slide the top frame on, pull it all the way back, push that up, and you're done. Gun's ready to go. And when you do pull it back, you do have that little red thing in the center that will tell you you have a round in the chamber, which I do not. So we're good there. I'm not a one brand over another, but when it comes to takedown, these and my new one are easier than a Glock, even though Glocks are pretty easy. So my dad got this last week. You're looking at 600 for this new Gen 5. What other one, Dad? What other number does Glock come in Gen 5? 19 and what? 17. 17 is full size? How many rounds? Okay. So Glock 19 is not full size. It's just smaller, 15 rounds. The 17, which is full size capacity, carries 17. This carries 15. I think this needs to carry 17 in order to compete. But that's just me. They don't. My dad carries his Gen 5 19 in a Blade Tech Eclipse holster. Kydex, you can actually use this screw to tighten it. Yep, you guys saw SIG. So this does not go with this. This goes with this. This VP9 setup is now my wife's setup. She likes this. I was going to trade it in with this, but she likes it, so I kept it. The Glock 21 Gen 4 I had is I've gotten rid of as of this morning, and gotten a also rid of my wife's Walther P22 and my mother's P22 as well. We actually have some money left over from those 3 trade-ins for this and the holster. Holster's mine. Okay, Before I open this, I would like to shout out a good shout out to Deschutes Arms and Deschutes Arms and Ammo in Bend, Oregon. That's the place I recommend going to if you need anything. Guy has grenade launchers, any frickin' million types of AR-15s. He has a whole cabinet of these Sig Sauer stuff. Glock guy, he actually is probably going to get my business when I'm sending this in. I would like to get my family coat of arms right here on this little plate. I want to get the whole thing Cerakoted, maybe a red color. And I do want a couple of cuts in here with little red in the cuts and stuff. It's just going to be amazing what this thing's going to look like. And I'm going to him to see if he can get all that done for me. And I hope that I'm able to. But the guy is amazing. He has everything you'd ever want, and really, really, really friendly people. They don't just sell you a gun. When they're gonna sell you something, like if I was gonna go pick a Glock and they noticed that I was like, they may have turned me to something like this because they know that this was more interesting. Plus, they sold me my LWRC AR-15 that is flat dark earth. Before I open this, and you guys see it's a SIG. Um, One of the workers there has one of these firearms and has dropped his 100 times or roughly um, around that to get his to fire, and it will not. He's tried hitting it with a hammer and such. He's tried it. His will not fire. With that said, this is a Sig Sauer 320C FDE. Now we're going to compare. So this is a P320. Um, and I wanted this ever since the Army said ever since I saw it before the Army said they wanted it. I've always wanted one of these because they're fucking awesome looking. Takedown is just as easy as this, except this takedown lever is freaking hella hard to get all the way down in order to take it down. Get pamphlets, owner's manual, outdoor line, just random stuff. I get a cool Sig Sauer thing I'm gonna put on my truck. Here's the firearm. You get 2 magazines. Now, comes with the here comes the flaw of this. It's coming out to rear its ugly neck. Before I do a comparison, that's the Sig mag. That is the VP9 mag. The VP9 mag is, in all actuality, a little bit taller. But the VP9 mag, which is a full size, only carries 15 rounds. This is not the full size. This is not the full size. This is the carry FDE. Okay? Yet it carries just as much rounds as the full size VP9, and that is where the VP9 struggles. Yeah, full size Glock 17 can carry 17. This can carry 15. I think this should be able to carry 17. But, it is what it is. So, now that we've got this open, the FDE comes with 2 magazines. Now, I don't want to hear anybody sit there and say, oh, you bought a fucking crappy gun. If you don't drop your weapons, you're not going to have any trouble. Simple as that. I don't know if I'm going to send this to Sig Sauer to have them do the free upgrade. I'm going to wait and see what happens. But again, the guy there has not had any issues. Comes with a weird looking Sig Sauer kind of plasticky thing. Doesn't even, there's still some shroud there. Yeah. So that's what it comes with. And we are done with this box for now. And so I got this, and the guy, I was really worried about the whole drop thing. I was really worried about it. But he told me that, he has he has some issues with a lot of people coming in and saying that they wouldn't buy one because of that. But he's done his own drop tests there in the store, and they have not found anything. Now, this gun has not been fired, brand new. This ran me with the holster. This ran me I paid $250 extra from the 3 trade-ins that I got. It was the 3 trade-ins I got. As I said, we still have some money left over, so I basically out of pocket from my trade-ins. I had to pay $250 with the holster and such. But so this here's where the flaw comes in. This thing holds 15 rounds. 15 rounds. 15. Now I'm gonna, you know what? This has full capacity thing on there. I'm going to use as I said, you guys, this is kind of going to be a long video. I'm going to use the empty magazine that I have for it. Just so I make sure I don't accidentally rack around and shoot a hole through my wall or something, which wouldn't happen. But all right, 15 rounds. 15 rounds. It's a lot smaller. This also comes with night sights. The night sights look kind of like the Glock night sights that you guys just saw, the Glock Gen 5. That was extra. But yeah. So, doing a comparison video. Glock Gen 5 compared to the Sig Sauer P320. You can see their length is close. And I'm not going to sit there and just make it to where totally. The Glock 43 is just a little bit. Now that's how it sits, and this how this sits. So the Glock 43 is just a little bit taller, maybe by that much, because the mag sticks out a little bit. This one is totally flush with it. Good gun though. Flat dark earth. I've always wanted this one. This matches my AR-15. It's also flat dark earth and black. This is flat dark earth and black stuff. Takedown is easy, but the problem is this thing is so hard. You have to jam it down there to get it down. So not going to worry about that now. But great gun. Now, here's my question to all you HnK, Glock, and Sig Sauer people. Maybe you can explain this to me. This is the carry model. Okay, this is not a full size, as you can tell. This is a damn beautiful gun. How is it that this thing can carry just as much as this? I'm going to put that away. It's my dad's, so I'm going to do it over here. How is it that this smaller weapon can carry just as much as this? You can tell that the VP9 is taller. You can just tell these things, and longer. So how is it that this can carry only just as much as the carry model? I don't get it. I don't understand why. You know, I don't get it. Both of these guns are great. The VP9 has been stupendous, and I love it. But you know, it's my wife's now, and that's great. But if I'm gonna compare the two as far as price, this was $589.99 with the holster. It was $660 or something like that total, right? But I had my my Gen 4 G21 and the 2P. Basically, all I did was trade 3 firearms for 1, which is this. But I still have money left over. So basically, I just sold one and traded 2. Which 2 of them we didn't use. The P22s we never used for this. And I'm pretty much in love with this gun. I love it. I don't think that I'm ever gonna have any problems with this thing. I just don't. Again, it's brand new, nothing in there. It feels so great in the hand, almost as good. Sorry, as good. As good as the VP9, almost better in my opinion. Um, I do think that there is a little bit of cause of concern for people who are going to have the issue of this thing being able to be smacked um, and have it discharge. The video I watched, it was like this. The gun was like that, aiming straight down, and the guy was hitting it with a hammer. Actually, he was probably like this and went, and it discharged. He was hitting it pretty hard. It took him 3 or 4 or 5 tries. But again, the people at the place that I bought the firearm from did not have this experience and could not figure out how to get it to do it because it didn't. So, in all actuality, I'm not really worried. I probably will get this to be sent in to Sig Sauer when they decide to, when I figure out that someone else has sent it in and gotten theirs back, and it's actually not having any misfire issues at all. Then I will probably think about sending this in. But until then, this is my carry. It just, everybody should treat their firearms like they're A, always loaded, and B, um, if you drop them, there is a really good chance that they're going to go off. That's just how I was taught and brought up to do. So chances are, people, uh, you don't want to drop them. Chances are, um, you'll ruin the finish and such. And this is a cute little flat dark earth system. Um, you don't want to potentially drop your firearm. Just don't drop it, and that won't happen. I carry it in this right here. Goes right in. It has a pretty good amount of retention, just like this does. Um, and I carry it on the outside of my waistband, covered by a shirt, and it carries a lot better than the VP9. That's that's probably pretty good amount of where they are. So yeah, if you guys ever looking for a new firearm, now that I've had more than 1 or 2 brands, sorry, 3 brands now, 4, Ruger, Sig Sauer, VP9, sorry, HnK, Glock. Um, I do prefer these 2 brands better than the Glock, but that's only because of how they look. And looks can be deceiving. Everybody likes differently. Some people think this looks a little bit too blocky and not as like blocky as a Glock or something, but you know what I mean? Just very seriously blocky, kind of like that. And so we're going to do a comparison now of that. The VP9, while I love it, this is going to be my wife's gun. She loves it. Freaking shoots like amazing. The magazine release is great. Uh, I don't see a problem with her with that. And so we're going to do a little bit of a comparison with the Glock Gen 5 19, which also ironically carries also 15 rounds. The Gen 5, and this is a cool feature I saw, this kind of has like 1 and then there's 2 here and 3 sides. And the Gen 5 just 1 and 2 really. But again, you're talking about aesthetics. You really can't sit here and say that this is going to be better than this because this looks better. They're both going to go boom when you pull the trigger. They both carry the same amount. They both hold the same amount. They both feel the same weight, fully loaded. Actually, the Glock Gen 5 feels a little bit more heavier than the Sig Sauer. But anyway, really no comparison there. I'm not sure which one's better. I don't think there is a better. I think they're both great firearms. I know that Glock in the early 2000s was having trouble with the gun discharging when dropped, and they kind of fixed that, and there's been no problem since. I think this will go through the same deal. I personally think that every single firearm has a chance to discharge accidentally when dropped. I just feel that way, and I always treat a gun like that. Um, so now, while I'm over here, I'm actually going to put on this holster, which is kind of funny to put on, but we'll get into that. Um, any questions, by the way? We're already at 25 minutes. Phew, it's a long video. Uh, just let me know, and I will do my best to answer your questions for you guys. To tell you what I like about stuff, what I don't like about it. So we're getting it going. I do not have a firearm belt. I do have a just a regular belt. I'm trying to get this set up for you. So anyway, here is the holster now on. Move it over a little bit. Oh, you see my boxers. Sorry, guys. Um, it's on the belt there, and this just fits snugly right in. And oh, my wallet, or my wallet, and easy to take out, easy to manipulate. Clicks right in, and there you go. You can kind of tell in the back here, it's printing a little bit. I'll probably do a cant, but in all actuality, I usually end up like this in the store. Like, if I'm walking around and shit, I'll forget that I have this, and I'll just probably walk around like this. People don't give a shit. Doesn't matter. But yeah, any issues, questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you have anything better that maybe I could wear to be able to make it to where it doesn't do that. Maybe have a cant on it. Maybe move it up a little bit more. I don't know. I know my VP9 was probably up around there on my hip, and it was easy for me to conceal because I just have my arm like this the whole time. You know, kind of hard to tell a little bit. Anyway, so in all actuality, I think the VP9, the Glock Gen 5, and the Sig Sauer are great firearms, and I think they all suit the purpose of people that need them. And I think that whoever purchases one is going to be good with either one of them. I'm not a certain brand fanboy. Also, it comes with a kind of crappy holster, but that one's kind of dumb. I think that Sig Sauer did a really good job. I think the Army's getting a really good upgrade, and I think that whichever one you choose, whichever one you choose to get, just depends on what you're looking for. I think all three are great, and I think they suit their purposes very well. Also, all three of these 15 rounds. All three of these have night sights. These two have front serrations, except not the Gen 5 Glock. All three of these are able to put a rail system on it. Even this, without this, indents. All three of these are striker fired. These two are black. This is flat dark earth. These two use a breakdown lever, and then the slide just comes off. This is a little bit more complicated to get the slide off with these two things right here and there, but it's still easy to do. You're really not going to be able to compare these three and say which one's better and which one's not. I prefer guns that have this cool thing on the front. I prefer this because it matches my AR, and it is smaller than the VP9 when it comes to being able to conceal. It's probably as good enough as I'm gonna get it. Close enough, right? Yeah. Let's try to. I'm not gonna get it, am I? Okay. Well, maybe we'll do it that way. Do it that way. There. So this one's just a little bit smaller. Both feel great in the hand, though. All right, guys. Questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section on the bottom, and we'll go from there. Whew, that was a long video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, whatever. Thanks.